Alright, I don't know if this is working or not, because I'm having some real hard times getting this damn software to work. By that I mean the recording software. Oh, it's the second half, so this won't take long anyway. Rogue Galaxy.
Good things come to those who wait, and if you've been anxiously awaiting the Japanese hit RPG Rogue Galaxy to come to the US, you won't be disappointed. Level 5 has been putting the finishing touches on the American version, which includes some very cool surprises.
So the backstory of Rogue Galaxy is there is a war going on between these two factions, the Lungardians and the Draxilian armies. And this is over resources that are found throughout the galaxy, or the lack thereof.
However, these wars are not the main story. The game starts on a quiet desert planet named Rosa, on the outskirts of the galaxy. There we meet a young man named Jaster, who yearns for adventure.
The character that I play, his name is Jaster, and he starts out the game as very much the kid who wants to leave home.
Because Rosa is rich with natural resources, a group of pirates comes to the planet and mistakes Jaster for a bounty hunter. So after a strange turn of events, he's recruited and starts his adventures as a pirate.
Throughout the adventure, you travel from planet to planet seeking a treasure of unimaginable value.
There are various planets, civilized ones and uncivilized ones. Ones with dense forests, or sparse deserts. Every time you play one of the many planets, I think you'll find new discoveries. The main theme is that the pirates are hunting an amazing treasure. Players are searching for the planet that holds this treasure. I can't say the name of this planet, but it's a beautiful place.
As you travel the galaxy on the Dorganark, a spacecraft modeled after a classic pirate ship, you recruit others to join the gang of pirates.
Throughout the journey, you can actually control any of 8 main characters that you have in your party, and you can switch in and out of them, except for Jaster, because he's intricate to the plot line, so you can't take him out of your party.
The heroine character is Kisara, who's the daughter of the pirate captain. She fights with a dagger and is an expert in the martial arts.
My favorite is actually Zegram, who is another hunter that was recruited onto the Dorganark. And he is actually one of the tough pirate types, and he doesn't take crap from anybody, and somebody that never loses his cool, but has like a nice sense of humor, kind of a cynical sense of humor with any situation. So my second favorite character is Lilica, who comes from a jungle planet, and she's one of those warrior princess types, sexy but tough, and she's played by a really great voice actress, so I think everybody will enjoy her.
Something is causing the problem in the village. If we can find the source, we can save the villagers.
Just like most Japanese imports, all of the voices needed to be re-recorded for the US version. And true to the high standards of the game, the development team did not skimp on talent.
What we tried to do was try to capture the essence of the character. What is Jaster like? What is Kisala like? What kind of teenagers would they be if they were American kids? That's why we have, Will Friedle, who captures the essence of the character. He captures its energy, his enthusiasm and his youthfulness.
You know what's funny? One of the things that actually really helps prepare for a character in a video game role is being a gamer. And I've been playing video games my whole life. Today, for instance, we were doing a scene where we had to do a lot of what actors call oofs and ughs, where you're getting hit or you're getting punched or, this type of thing. And it's just like an oof or an and there's really not much to play off of. But when somebody in the booth then says, this is a specialty move, as a gamer in your head, you're going, okay, this is hitting a whole bunch of buttons at one time to build up your power, and this is where the big move comes along. So having played video games for so long, it actually really helps in the process of recording them.
He's just got a nice instinct for, the situations, and he's able to play off of the little cues that we give him. When it comes to voice acting, you only get bits and pieces of the story. He does a really good job in terms of taking that information, processing it, and giving us the reads that we really want.
From firing weapons to dodging attacks, Rogue Galaxy features a unique real-time battle system that gives the player full control.
The battle system in this game is an action RPG, so you have control over one character at any time during the battle. And you also have two other characters in your party that fight alongside you, and you can actually give them commands throughout the battle by using the command system or the suggestion system. And what the suggestion system is, during the course of the battle, they'll actually offer you suggestions. Hey, Jaster, let me use this item. Let me use this special attack. And it's up to the player to allow them to do that or not. It's to kind of give that sense of camaraderie with your party. For the US version, there's actually a new combo system that's been implemented. In the Japanese version, there was a combo system that would appear randomly. But for the US version, they actually changed it up so it's not random. During the battle, the enemies drop these orbs on the ground, and you collect them and fill up your combo meter. And once it's full, you're able to execute your combo manually. So you have control over which character you want to use that combo on.
If an outrageously large, seamless universe wasn't enough, Level 5 included a bunch of mini-games to increase the replay value.
One of the major things is the Insectron tournament, and this is basically where you go around and you have these traps that you can actually put down on the ground with a bait. And as you're exploring the galaxy, you find a certain location that you can actually put the trap there, and you can actually capture these Insectors. And what these Insectors are these little creatures that you can actually then rear and raise and train to fight in this large tournament called Insectron Tournament. It's actually a really deep system, and the team put a lot of effort into making this really fun. I mean, I hope they don't get too sidetracked from the story, but it's actually really worth doing.
Given the incredible success of this game in Japan, and all the additions and improvements to the US version, Rogue Galaxy is looking to become one of the best RPGs, and it's coming exclusively to the PlayStation 2.
So it's a game that I've played before, just not like a lot of. It was a game that I was only vaguely aware that it existed, and I stumbled across it on the PlayStation Network several years after it released. And I think it was actually like a PS4 version of the PS2 game. So I bought it and I played it for a little bit, and the impression that I walked away from was that it was one of those, the developers put an enormous amount of work on it. It looks incredible for a PlayStation 2 game, and the scope of the game seems to be large. And it probably would have been like a big tentpole release for Sony, if not for the fact that it released in 2006 for the PlayStation 2. Because at that point, the attention was moving away from the PS2, it was towards the PS3, and it was just landing on a console during its twilight years. So it was going to get ignored to a certain point, to a certain extent. Now, like Final Fantasy XII had kind of the same problem. It launched very late in the PlayStation 2's life cycle, and because of that, it lost some of the attention that it would have had otherwise. But of course, Final Fantasy has a large amount of name recognition, so it wasn't like people were going to just ignore that release. But this game, I don't know, I should really play it, like play it proper at some point, because it does seem like it was something special, but just the kind of thing that was just thrown out into the world to die. Maybe it did well, I don't know. It's a game, like I said, I wasn't aware of it, or only vaguely aware of it for years after it released. I'll have to look into it. Maybe I'll consider taking a better look at it. Oh, jeez. Freaking Star Wars, Lego Star Wars. Like I've said a bunch of times before, I'm not really a fan of the Lego anything games. I think in concept they're good because they have a kind of...
Star Wars was kind of a runaway hit. It really blew everybody away. Now that we're coming back with Lego Star Wars,
they do these movies and then they do like the Lego version of the game, and it tackles what happened in the movie or whatever, and it puts a funny little spin on it because these are Lego characters. They're just a little bit goofy. But the gameplay doesn't really seem like it. Like all of the Lego games that I play sort of just play the same, and it's not like the gameplay style that I'm really a fan of.
And start having fun with it.
And there's so damn many of them at this point. I don't even keep track. It's sort of like how, sort of like the Dynasty Warriors games where there's just a shitload of them. One or two comes out every year, and
you'll walk over and you'll see a little stack of Lego sort of jumping around, indicating that there's something to do with them.
You know, I get the impression that I've seen this before.
Press a button, simple one button press, and that character can build whatever it is to be built there. And there's always a
I think I've seen this before.
I
think I've seen this. By I mean seen this before, I mean I've seen this while doing this video series. So either I'm accidentally making the same episode twice, which is possible. I've done that before.
In addition to that, we have free play mode, and free play mode allows you to sort of play with that and use any characters that you want.
They just put this video in more than one demo disc, which is also possible considering we're talking, this is 2005 or 2006. 2006, I think this disc came out. And we're looking at the end of the PlayStation 2's life cycle, like I said before. And the developers, and I think even the publisher of this magazine wasn't really either interested or able to get content to fill these discs with. Same thing happened at the end of the PlayStation 1 era, where the discs would come out and they would have a lot of old content on them, just to have something on there. Like I remember towards the end of the PS1 era, they started switching between PlayStation 1 games on 1 month and the PlayStation 2 in the next month. And the PlayStation 1 discs started to get really bad. Not just because, like, a lot of the games that were coming out were just, like, kids' releases, the kind of budget stuff that would still be produced for an old console, but a lot of the discs just started having old content on them. I remember one that was just the Final Fantasy games that came out, which meant that there was just a demo of Final Fantasy VIII, and then videos of, like, whatever, like 2 or 3 videos of other games in the series. So that, I guess that would mean 9 or what was it? What was it? Turn-based strategy.
To get hints or cheats that you can use in the game.
Strategy RPG game called
the individual pieces.
Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics.
Each of those characters, little Lego pieces, will then become available to you.
And like something else in there. It's like, why did you even bother publishing this? This is terrible. You don't really have anything else you could have done. And I guess maybe they didn't.
Replayability of the game is extremely.
I always wondered what the economics of
just for you to play the level back through again, but it's actually
these discs were. I mean, I think maybe it had the demo discs were a kind of like an ad kind of thing for a lot of developers. Like a developer had to produce the demos, but they would be given to whoever handled the discs for the PlayStation magazine. But I think they were worked like advertisements. Like the developers either had to provide them at no cost to the publisher, or they were even paid for it. I know the magazine tended to be more expensive
We
than
didn't just throw the
similar
game into the timeline of the
publications,
original trilogy movies
and
add it.
the cost
It's
of
everybody's
it,
favorite movies,
like
everybody's favorite characters, but
the
now
average
all these new
video
great
game
movies as
magazine
well.
at the end of the day would be like $3, like $2.99 or something like that.
You know, the word
And
that gets thrown
these
around
magazines
here,
were
you hear
closer to
sometimes
like
is
6 or
enchanting,
7
and it
or
really
8
is
or
an
something like that,
enchanting game. If you're not
which made them
taken
quite
by, like, Star
expensive
Wars
if you're
2,
buying them on the newsstand.
cold, cold heart.
And if you subscribed to it and got it by mail, it would $40 or $50 or something like that, compared to what would be like $20 that you would do if you subscribe to like EGM or something like that. And I guess that was to offset the production of the discs and stuff, but the disc itself isn't particularly expensive. So maybe they had to float the cost of acquiring and running all this stuff. Fuck, I don't know. But anyway, the point was that once you get towards the end of a console's life cycle, the developers are kind of just trying to get their projects out, or they know that they're selling to a niche audience at that point. So maybe that's why you don't see a lot of stuff being released on these discs towards the end. Like here we're looking at Rogue Galaxy, okay, new, big release. Came out a bad time. Alright, Star Wars, Lego Star Wars 2. Pretty sure I saw it before. Same thing here. Pretty sure I saw that demo. Okay, that was a new release, and that was a new release, I think. But there aren't many demos here, there's not much of anything. See, extras. Extras is just credits. Why the hell do they just not just... See, yeah, there's nothing else here. There isn't even any, oh yeah, Guitar Hero. I didn't get into a Guitar Hero until the next generation. This video was short, so I might as well talk a little bit here about Guitar Hero. Again, it was another series I was aware of, but I didn't own any of the releases for. And it was Guitar Hero 3 that I really discovered it. So I went over to a friend's house, and he had Guitar Hero 3 for the Wii. Now that was an interesting experience. I mean, aside from the fact that it was the first time I had played Guitar Hero, so I couldn't really tell the difference, but the Wii version was the worst version. Not only did it look stupid, I mean, like graphics for a Guitar Hero game, who really cares? But it did look worse than the Xbox or PS3 version. But the audio was screwed up. Like, there was something wrong with it, like it would only play, like, it would be missing an audio channel. And since the Wii games couldn't be patched, you were just stuck with that. And it seemed weird that he bought it for the Wii, because he had a PlayStation 3 and an Xbox 360. He had the whole Pee-wee 60. So he bought it for the worst, worst console he owned. At least worst console as far as that stuff goes. He was never a Wii fan. He bought the Wii and he played it a little bit, and then he got bored of it, moving on to the 360 became his main console for a bit, and then the PlayStation 3 became his main console. And at some point he got tired of new games and just went back to playing old games. I'm talking like SNES. So he just became like just a classic gamer kind of thing. Anyway, it's only so long I can ramble on about nothing, so I guess I'll call it quits and see if this actually recorded. The problem I was having was Bandicam, which is the software I use for screen capture, wasn't hooking. Meaning seeing or recognizing the screen of PCSX2, the PlayStation 2 emulator I'm using. And I am instead just trying to capture the window, but there is no frame FPS counter in the corner, which is what I would expect, so I'm not entirely sure it's even working. Guess I'm about to find out, and if I didn't, I just wasted 20 minutes of my time. Thanks for watching, if in fact I even recorded this.